Okay, we're still in the Math 120 projects. We're on project N now. All right. The expectation is you know how to create a Jupyter notebook at this point and also to use the terminal. What are we going to do over here? We're going to take a look at this over here and try to figure out what they're asking me to do. Again, I can't emphasize enough times you want to read through this. You know, it says the function, blah, 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 oscillates widely near x equals 0, but Sage knows this and plots many extra points. There are many other hyperactive functions in mathematics. Here's two examples, by the way. Now, if you remember in the past, we graphed something similar to this, and it took Sage a little while to do it. And the reason because it's oscillating wildly, and it does take time to do it. All right, but they're claiming that these functions over here also are really active. They're oscillating all over the place. All right, so what I want to do is I want to go through the code with you, and I'm going to go to Sage now. I have Sage running, and I'll be honest with you. If you're in a field where you're using an application, often enough that it's always open, that's a good thing because it's always available to you. Now, granted, if you're not using it too often, you'd have to learn how to launch the application. But I'm going to type in reset. So I always start a project doing this. And the reason I just want to clear out any kind of leftover variables or definitions that I have. So x is a variable. Remember, x is automatically a variable, but it's a really good idea to get in a habit of defining your variables before you do it. You know what? I'm getting a little tired. I'm going to start to copy paste. I warn you against this because a lot of times you copy paste doesn't work so nicely. Let me copy this. And that's G. And I'm going to copy this too. I want to plot F. Let's see what happens. Wow, it did it. Did it pretty quickly too, by the way. All right, and you notice it's very active in this region over here. Okay, let's do the next one, and this one over here. And I'll type that in. And it did it quickly again. Again, I want to point out sometimes Sage spends an inordinate amount of time computing a tremendous number of points, and it slows the machine down. Now, granted, I am not an expert in Sage. I'm sure there's a workaround, but right now these things went pretty quickly. I'm not worried about that. All right. Let me see if there's anything else in that section. Nope. We'll get to project O next. All right. So again, a little bit of practice in typing things up and realize something about hyperactive, meaning that a large number of points are being generated in a very small area. Okay. Thank you so much for paying attention, though.